Okay, welcome back. Evilzombie here. Let's jump back into our reading of Genesis. So we're in Genesis chapter 2 today, in the English Standard Version. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work that he had done. So God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God rested from all his work that he had done in creation. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. When no bush of the field was yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man to work on the ground, and a mist was going up from the land, and was watering the whole face of the ground. Then the Lord God formed the man of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living creature. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made to spring up every tree that is pleasant into the sight, and good for food. The tree of life was in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there it divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first is the Pishon. It was It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Tigris, which flows east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it you shall surely die. And then the Lord God said, It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him. Now out of the ground the Lord God had formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all the livestock and all the birds of the heavens, and every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper fit for him. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. And while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. And the man said, This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. Okay, so my thoughts on this one. Sure, we get it's showing. I can't get my words out in my thoughts. Basically, I'm loving that it's showing how he gave the responsibilities, he set ground rules, and he said, okay, this is your job, this is what you're meant to do, and this is what I want you to do. And then we get a little bit of foreshadowing of, you should not do this, and then we already know what's going to happen, but you'll find out probably in the next chapter, of our big mistake that caused the downfall of everything. But this is when things were still going good, and people lived a lot longer back then. I know some people would instantly think, well, how could he have possibly enough time to name every creature that exists. Adam lived well over 900 years. I think it was like 968 years or something. He lived a very long time. It says it in the Bible. I'll get to it later on because we're still reading, but I'll get to it, and you'll have an actual number. He lives over 900 years though, so he had a lot of time, and he named a lot of creatures, and that's a lot to do when you're alone. He went around and did his job for years and years, and I can only imagine how long it took him. It blows my mind at the dedication. That's great that he just did what he was told. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of all the stories and reading through it word by word. And I'm trying to take a more critical look at all the little hidden details. And I'm going to look at maps and see if I can kind of get a picture of where a lot of the events are happening, so I can see the surrounding cities, the surrounding areas, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. So I'm going to look up all the rivers and that were mentioned in here and see where the area around those, so I can see what area this was, because that's just something I've never done before. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm happy that I'm finally getting to do this. We're a little early on in the book still, of course, but it's going to be good, and it's something I should have done a long time ago. But man, so marriage. That's a big part about this, marriage also, because he's saying, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. That's just a thing of beauty. I love my wife, and we're married, and I consider us basically two halves of the same whole. Because whatever I can't do, she can do. Whatever she can't do, I can do. And it's really a complementary thing. I mean, there's no one without the other. I can't even imagine what my life would be like without her. And I just imagine how sad and dull life was before I met her. Sure, we argue and everything, but that's just because we know each other really well and we're both stubborn. That just happens. But I love how it puts it into perspective with this at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Because it really shows we are the same. She comes from us, and like she came from him, and the fact that they are made for each other, literally made for each other, to be companions. That's a beautiful thing. I love it because I love my wife, and I can't imagine life without her. And that's just the way we're doing it is the right way, and I'm happy about that. So, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you can learn something. Hopefully you'll join me on the rest of this journey. I appreciate you. I need to find my mouse. There it is. Have a good one. Bye.